Peace, peace. I just got off of my Facebook Live, so sorry, y'all. It took me a minute. Hold on, let me get my light real quick. Oh, hold on, y'all. Let me get my light because this light ain't enough. Peace, peace, peace to everybody. Can y'all see me? All right. Hopefully this will be good enough. I hate my laptop camera. I really need a better camera for my laptop. But hopefully everybody is well. Like I said, I just finished getting off of Facebook Live. And I was just kind of like brushing over some things about, just right now in this time of awakening and this change in earth and the things that have to transpire in order for us to have a better life on this planet and stuff. So that means like the system coming down and falling down, and how people aren't comfortable with letting go of this material world and this materialistic system, right? Hold on, y'all, let me get this real quick. Hey, Outspoken Rebel, what's good? I'm glad you're on here because I'm definitely going to need a moderator. I'm glad y'all haven't given up on me because I'm not going live as much on here. But that's a lot of times they be like shutting my lives down or they'll take them down. So I've done way more live streams than what it shows on my channel, but they've taken it down because I was talking about transhumanism or I was talking about something else. And like all of the things that I've talked about as far as, when I expose these toxic masculine, they don't take that down. But when I talk about like the system and everything that's going on with that, they tend to take my live streams down. And then they'll say, oh, because it's going against guidelines or whatever the case may be. So I guess they changed a lot of guidelines and stuff. Okay, y'all, I'm trying to get to where y'all can see me because it's a little dark in here, but I don't want to go anywhere else. I could go outside, but it's going to cut off my connection. Peace, God. How are you? Jason, Leo, the Indigo Goddess. What's good? Hold on, let me make sure. She said it's buffering. Is it still buffering? It's still buffering, Indigo? Is it buffering for you guys? Let me know. I hope not, because then I'll be mad because I should have just went on my phone. But I can't be on my phone because I'm going to let you guys hear Rod Hayes. Give me 1 second. Trying to change this. Oh, it's good? Okay, good. Okay, so Rod contacted me. I don't know if you guys know who Rod is, but Rod Hayes is one of the gods that I have been posting on my channel a few times that has given us messages from our galactic family and things that we need to do in order to... Hey, Marvelous. Hey, Marvelous Spirit. Got a couple moderators in here. That's what's up. He's one of the ones that have been really keeping us abreast on what we need to do as far as our people and giving us messages as far as that. When it came to Larry Hoover, and a lot of people were asking questions about that and how significant he is and important he is, the reason why we're all speaking about him being released and stuff like that. But he's one of the true heirs to this land, and he's very important. Apparently, since he's been locked up and stuff, he has gotten a spiritual connection. He has been spiritually connected, knowing who he is and things like that. So that's something that our galactic ancestors asked for, was for the release of him. And I can't think of his name right now. Oh, shoot. That's so fucked up. But anyway, I'm going to let him speak. He wants me to do it, and I definitely want to do it. so that you guys can get this information. He gave it to me yesterday, but it was so many things going on yesterday. I couldn't even find time to do a live stream. It was just a lot going on, y'all. So I'm going to do this right now with no further ado. Wait, where is it at? Come on, Rod. Is this it? Peace, Frankie. How are you? He just sent it to my messenger. I opened it. This ain't it. Hold on, y'all. Let me get in contact with Rod real quick. Get in contact with Rod really quickly. I'm doing really good. I'm doing pretty good. Hey, Rod. Don't be looking at me like that. So I'm literally on YouTube, right? So I was trying to pull up your video because I'm like, Rod really wants me to do this, but I'm like literally trying to click on there. That's why I got my phone free, so I can do like how I would like play it and just show it. And for whatever reason, it's not popping up. So is it not there anymore?
I'm about to send it to you in Messenger.
Okay.
Which one you want, today or yesterday?
The one you wanted me to do, because I didn't do the one yesterday, and then I'm gonna do the one today.
So I'm gonna send you.
Which one's the one important for me to do today?
Whichever one you want to.
All right.
They both fire. So.
All right. Well, just send me the one. Just send me one of them.
I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you in order. I'm gonna send you the first one, then I'm gonna send you the second one.
Okay. He gonna send it over, y'all. All right. Okay. See, we be working over here. We don't got time. We don't be beefing. I don't hate men. Like, you know, people try to put it or whatever. My teachers are men. My teachers are the divine masculine. So y'all can't be putting that feminist stuff on me. Like, I get taught by great master teachers, you know what I'm saying? And they're men, but they also understand the importance of women. And so they put this into us because they know that we are the speakers and that our strength is what needs to happen in order for us to bring stuff back to a balance. So I hate the fact that people feel that way, but this ain't that. But here's Rod Hayes, and here's a message he wanted me to make sure that you guys were able to hear because they've been blocking him.
Okay, so we finna go over a little class here today. We finna learn some shit. For the people who ain't got in yet, I'm gonna try to do some invites, and I don't know if they're gonna let me, but I'm gonna do as many as they let me. I'm gonna take my time and do these, and we're gonna start with the timeline. Y'all gotta get a couple of things clear in your head about what they're doing and how this game is being played or been played. The gig is up, right? So we ain't Africans, but they tell us we from Africa, right? We was already here. They don't think that we know who we is and where we came from. They don't think that we recognize the real on the land, right? So I'm just gonna go. We finna do a little history lesson according to the narrative they gave us, and then I'm gonna point out some key points in the narrative that's gonna make everybody be like, "What the fuck did they just do to us?" Right? So we know that on this land they call this God's country, right? Why do they call this God's country? Now hold that thought fixed in your mind for a minute. The Masonic lodges have members that's put out hundreds of books about the secret destiny of the United States, according to divine providence, or what they call God's law. Now, we finna dig up some dirt. Now, we're gonna go over a little history lesson. This is the narrative they want us to stay on the timeline of. So, around 7 AD, some guy was born, and he lived 33 years, and they killed him. They named him Jesus. But J wasn't no J in the letters at the time in the Hebrew nor in the Greek. Right? New Testament written in Greek, Old Testament written in Hebrew. Right? So in 325, so now that's 325. So if he was born in 7 AD, he lived 33 years, right? That's 40 AD. Not until 325 did something form called the Nicene Council. Now, the Nicene Council was formed in Rome, right? So, who the fuck is Rome? Who is the Roman soldiers? Keep this in mind when you ponder this story. Who the fuck is Rome? In the BC period, they had a conqueror in Greece by the name of Alexander. Now, the history books say that Alexander was chosen by God, right? And it was from Alexander's conquest of the Indus Valley did they establish a methodology for ruling, and the doctrine is called the Republic, right? So when you go study the Republic, in the history of the Republic, it was pontificated upon in the what they used to call it when they used to have a word. Before it was called debate, it was called rhetoric. So in the rhetoric, the rhetoric that was being tossed around on the Senate floors of Rome was called a republic. Now, they call this government over here a democratic republic. Republic means ruled by law. Democracy supposed to mean ruled by the people. A democratic republic is the people establish a law that governs the entirety of the land, right? So now, in Rome, they changed the gender of God. Well, right, what the fuck you mean in Rome? They changed the gender of God. Which God gender was switched? Why did they switch that one? And how can you show me? It's real simple. They tell us we in hell already, right? Hell is Helen. Helen settled Greece before the Etruscans settled Rome. I'm gonna let that sink in. The Hellenists were Egyptians of the I-10 priests, the same family and blood as Tut, right? Same family and blood as King Tut, all right? Except in like 12 BC to 7 BC, somewhere up in there, you got this love affair and this queen named Cleopatra trying to hold on to the rulership rights of Egypt as Rome is advancing to conquer. So she got two dudes she's dealing with, Mark Antony, and she's dealing with I forgot that motherfucker name. Brutus. No, Caesar. Julius Caesar, one of them fucking Caesars, them gay ass motherfuckers. Anyway, so Cleopatra trying to hold on to the matriarchy. Right now, when Rome get the control of the deities, right? They change Helen. They change Helen from a female in Greece to a male in Rome. All you gotta do is put it side by side. Roman pantheon, Greek pantheon. The Greek culture is called Hellenistic culture. The Roman culture is called Greco-Roman culture. Because Rome conquered Greece, but they put Greece first in order to delude the minds of the people into believing that Greece conquered Rome. Why would they want to do that? All right, so now, we're just going to follow the narrative they're giving us. I'm just going over the story in broad strokes, because this shit detailed in a motherfucker. I'm using broad strokes. All right, now, 325, right? Subtract 40 from 325, you get 285 years since the so-called crucifixion took place. That's if he was born in 7 AD. Now, the true math is the key to unlock the Christ code, but that's not where we at right now. So in 325, they assembled the Nicene Council. They got all of the leaders in one room, right? These leaders were mystics, priests, they call pagan ritual leaders, basically coven leaders, male and female. But the council erased any female that was in there. So you won't never know that it was women in the Nicene Council unless you can remote view it. Now, in the Nicene Council, they established something that they call the Nicene Creed. Look that shit up. Now, this is in the 300s. The Etruscans is taking over, they establish in Rome, in Europe. Once Rome is established, Europe go into what they call the Dark Ages. Now remember, they said that the Moors civilized Europe. They taught them art, science, music, they taught them philosophy, religion. They penned Latin as a language. Greek was penned by Egyptian priests. Latin was penned by Etruscan Moorish priests. I understand the difference. Okay, now, they got a scholarly language now in 725 or the 700s in the AD period. So we're talking 400 years of Catholic Church domination before they can get enough stronghold in Europe to bring them in mass. So the history books tell us the Moors, the Etruscans, went into Europe in the Dark Ages around 700, and they occupied Europe all the way up until 1611 when their final stronghold over Europe was broken. This is the story. This is the history they gave us. Now, in this story that they telling us, a couple of things is happening over this, from the 700s to the 1600s. So we're talking almost 1,000 years, 900 and some years of occupation by the Moors, right? Why in the fuck did they get kicked out of Europe if they were civilizing these people? And where in the fuck did they go? And why did they go there? Right? Nobody not asking none of them questions. They just following the narrative that they gave us. Okay, so we're going to follow the narrative. In 1611, they finally got the stronghold broke. And they kicked them all out. Right? Why are they kicking these people out of Europe? What are they doing over there after you get done civilizing somebody? Now they so civilized, how did they kick them out? Right? Ask the question, How did they get the Moors kicked out of Europe? Spanish motherfucking Inquisition, the motherfucking, all of the rebellions to the crown in Europe caused them to put in what they call a fictitious royal family, a cat's paw, a figurehead, a face, a front. Where did these motherfuckers go? All of them didn't leave Europe. Many of them end up going into seclusion, right? In the Depression Mountains with all of the motherfucking gold. What the fuck is Depression Mountains? If you go back, there was an empire that was called Prussia in the north of Europe. The Prussian Empire is where you get your Khazarians, mulattoes, Moorish, European hybrid children from, right? Now, you got to understand what's taking place all over the world at the time. At this time, Rome is fighting Huns, Rome is fighting Mongolians, and Rome is still fighting off the Babylonian empires. Like 36 motherfuckers. So now all this shit going on, they capturing POWs in warfare. From the Huns, from the Mongolians, and from the Hindus of Hindustan that wasn't India yet. Now, in the middle of this, in 1492, some motherfucker named Christopher Columbus supposed to discover America. I'm gonna let y'all marinate on that. Some European in 1492 named Christopher Columbus supposed to discover America. There's a problem with that. I'm just trying to let that sink in. In 1492, the Spanish crown sent somebody named Christopher Columbus to find an alternate trade route to Hindustan that wasn't called India yet. That sink in. Because they tell us in the history books, in the textbooks in the school, that when Christopher Columbus came, he was looking for an alternate trade route, and he got lost and thought he was in India. That don't make no sense. It doesn't make sense. It makes zero amount of sense. First of all, Pietro del Negro is a Moorish navigator. And the navigators can tell you where you at in the middle of the ocean by the position of the stars without seeing no land. But they're telling us Columbus got lost. Not only are they telling us he got lost, they telling us that when he finally found land, he just struck up on some land. We know it today as Hispaniola was what they called it. When he landed there, he named it Hispaniola. Today is Dominica, Haiti. Okay. So now, Columbus got lost, is what they telling us, and he thought he was in India. How is this possible when India is not India yet? This in your textbook, in your school, that they teaching your children is bullshit. Columbus got lost. He got lost. And in the course of him getting lost, he thought he was in India and called the people Indians. But the problem is, India wasn't India yet. Can anybody see what I'm saying here? Columbus got lost, and he said he was in India, but India wasn't called India yet. What the fuck is these people talking about? This the story they gave us now. This the narrative. Now, he said when he got here, he met some copper-colored people. Now, that sink in. In his diaries, because they will print that shit out. They got the book. They got all of his log from when most of it is in there, but some of the shit they wanted to keep secret, they left it out. He thought he was in India, but India wasn't named India yet. But we were known as Indinka. We was known as Inca. But we weren't known as no India. They called us Indico, which became known as Indigo, as we refer to the children now as Indigo children. But it wasn't no fucking India. Where does nigga think he going? Are y'all not catching that part? Okay, let's go on with the narrative. So once he got over here, he went back to Europe and he told Ferdinand and Isabella he discovered a new world. Okay, I got a person. Somebody want to come in. I'm gonna let him in and see what we got going on here.
Hold on, y'all, because I didn't watch this part.
Go get the cookie sauce in that cocoa bean with the shit. You ain't all the way clear yet. You ain't all the way clear yet. You got to clear up some more. Where your camera at? Turn your camera on.
He's so nice. He'll just let anybody come on his live, but they ain't even ready.
See, this is the bullshit they be on.
I'm telling you.
So I'm going to keep on talking, right? Yeah, they dropped her out the call. Try to log back in if you're trying to get back in. Now, they telling us, it's the story they want us to believe. Now, you got to remember, they can't fool us no more because we know the story. I'm going over it with y'all right now. Pietro del Negro, in order to be a navigator, right, the navigators of the day were the most highly educated non-priest class. But many of them were also priests, right? The navigators, the ones who know how to read the stars, map the stars to what's going on Earth, right? They were the highest form of education that was not a priest. And many of them were also priests. Now, Catch-22 starting to get it. He was sent by niggas. He wasn't sent by niggas. He was brought. Pietro del Negro is the name of the nigga that brought him over here. Right? His name is, they call him Peter the Black in English. In Latin and Spanish, they call him Pietro del Negro. Right? Peter the Little Black. Sometimes they call him Pietro del Negrito. But no matter how you cut it, he was a black motherfucking skinned motherfucker named Peter. Right? So that's not a problem. But when Columbus get back to Europe, he reported to Isabella and Ferdinand, I discovered a whole new world. This is the beginning, right here, the beginning of the New World Order. Because watch what happened. Immediately upon returning and telling Isabella and Ferdinand of their discovery of the so-called New World, Isabella and Ferdinand told him, don't tell nobody until we get some flags all up and down that motherfucker. Right? but the word got out. When the word got out, something happened, right? Something happened when the word got out. Y'all remember the history, what they told us? Oh, don't worry about it. We got this shit covered.
Okay, I'm gonna pause it real quick, y'all, so I can kind of get people here.
Once they got...
Okay, so this is Rod Hayes, and I'm playing Rod Hayes. It's a live lecture that he did yesterday, and he asked me to cover it on my platform, and I planned on covering it yesterday, but just time didn't allow me. So he's basically setting the stage on how everything happened here in the Americas and how we are the indigenous people of America. And so he's basically given a breakdown of how everything transpired and came about when it came to not only a patriarchal system, but when it came to this system here in the Americas, and how we lost control over our land here in the Americas. So that's basically what he's talking about for the people that just got on, because I don't want you guys to be lost and be like, what is this about? So that's what he's basically breaking down. And he's pretty deep, you all. So sometimes he can lose people.
Once they got over there, and they start spreading the word about the new world, that Columbus and the nigga Peter the Negro, they discovered the new world. Now, first of all, let me start right here. Let me tell you. So the history says that Christopher Colombo, or his name was Cristobal Colombo, was a what you call that? Sephardic Jew. Now, this became disturbing to me because we got three main classes of Jew in modern era. We got Ashkenazi, we got Sephardi, and we got Khazarian. And not one of these motherfuckers, not one, Ashkenazi, Sephardi, or Khazarian is one of the 12 children or tribes of Israel. Go look it up. Who the fuck is these motherfuckers? I already gave y'all the spoiler on the Khazarians. Right? Now, they call the Ashkenazi and the Sephardi are known as the Spanish Jew and the French Jew in modern colloquial terminology. Both of them are Latin subcultures. French is a subculture language of Latin. Latin is the parent language of French, Spanish, Italian, and Dutch, and a couple more. Latin is the parent language. So the French, the Italians, and the Spaniards are connected by linguistics that was written by Etruscan Moors. All right, now that y'all get this part, when they all start coming over here, who came first? Who came first in mass? They were called conquistadors. Break the word down and translate it. Conquest, Tudor. The Tudor royal family. Look them up. Google who are the Tudors. Tudor. It's an entire royal family. I see you, I see you, Smoke. So they are these royal families, Tudors, right? These are a bigger family, an older family than what you call your Merovingians. Your Merovingians is a subset under the Tudors. All royal families from the gentry came by way of Tudors in Europe. So, the royal families became fractured when they got kicked out of Europe. Where the motherfuckers go? Okay, so now, what happened when they got over here? We know they came over here. So they tried to masquerade as the people of the land. Their philosophy and their thinking is this. If we can keep these people from ever realizing who they are and their blood ties to the land, we can just say we them. And we can say they came from somewhere else. And if we tell them they came from somewhere else long enough, they bound to believe it. So who's writing this story? Who's telling this motherfucking narrative for us to see it as if we came on a ship? Columbus came on a ship, right? The Mayflower, them was ships. But I can't find no slave ship. I ain't the only one been looking. Malachi York was looking for a slave ship. He couldn't find one either. Dane Calloway been looking for a slave ship. He can't find one. Nation of Islam been looking for a slave ship, and they can't find one. But we can find immigrant ships. We can find immigrant ships from Europe that also stopped in Africa because it's in their law. I didn't make the shit up. It's in their law. They wrote that shit. So we know they pathological liars. So do we believe them or do we don't? They wrote that we came on ships. My mama told me we ain't come on no fucking ships. She don't know what them people talking about. Well, who is these motherfuckers that came on the ship? Those are what you call your black people, BLAQ. It's a legal terminology and a legal classification of a subset of a group of people. And it ain't got nothing to do with their skin color. Right? They the same motherfuckers kicked these motherfuckers out of Europe. So if they kicked them out of Europe, why are they coming over here to the great melting pot? Right? And what's this one drop of blood doctrine? Right? You own it, Shatoya, Moors. But it's two kinds of Moors. Because the legalese was used to confuse the issue at hand. What the fuck you talking about, Rod? The legalese was used to confuse the issue. Okay. So in our culture and how we have developed in these here so-called United States of America, the legalese is the language lawyers talk. Medicalese is the language doctors talk. Colloquial language is the language commoners talk. And then you have what you call political jargon, which is the gentry. These four classifications of royal hierarchy. When you know the medicalese, the legalese, the gentralese, and the colloquial language, they can't trick you no more. Trickery out the door. Right? So now we got these motherfuckers telling us we ain't from here. They contracted with what we call Dawes Roll Indians. If your family traced back to the Dawes Roll, that means either two things. Either your family was inserted to steal a birthright, or your family was injected to remove a birthright. The Dawes Roll Indians were the ones who were actually Mongolian, Han, and Hindustan or Hindus that was amalgamated and brought over here as the servant class of the Moors. You have to go back to the treaties now. What treaties? Now I ain't talking about no North American treaties. I'm talking about how did they get Kublai Khan to know that they was at peace? They trading of slaves was part of the peace arrangement, right? The trading of slaves was part of the arrangement in order to establish a peace. You would trade slaves, women, you would trade wealth, you would marry you would marry the son of the king to the son of the emperor to the daughter of the emperor in order to tie the royal families together for political purposes. Are y'all listening to this shit? Okay, now, when they came over here, they came with slaves. They called them indentures. Look this shit up. They had also went to war with Ireland and Scotland, right? So they had slaves from Ireland, Scotland, Mongolian slaves, Hun slaves, and Hindu slaves. They bring all these motherfuckers over here with them. Where did they go? They used them to masquerade as us, to make us think we somebody other than who we are, right? So they took the contract and wrote treaties and agreements with Dawes Roll Indians that they brought over here with them, with no right and no ties to the land, right? They not smarter than us. They start killing off our elders, but on the way out, our elders would initiate a Dawes Roll Indian in order to preserve a particular piece of the history so that one of us niggas can put this shit back together. So the Dawes Roll Indians been ceremonially replaying our history because they don't like the motherfuckers that brought them over here. They ain't friends. They never was friends. And they thought that their slave was going to remain mentally in bondage. But we don't play that shit over here. We don't play that shit over here. It's just like right now. Social media. I'm watching the same people talking about the same shit I'm talking about get the same treatment to shut us the fuck up. I can name them. Right? They don't want how you say his name? Because I don't want to say it wrong. Kalai Amin Ra. They don't want him telling you ain't black. You ain't black. If black means you came from Africa, you ain't black. We was already here. Now, since they came over here and brought some Africans with them as well, we might have some African mixed with us, but our beef ain't with them motherfuckers. Because if you look in the conditions, they just as bad or worse off than us. So we can't be mad at them. It ain't their fault they didn't do this shit because they got it done to them. So they had a whole scramble for Africa to divide Africa up after they got done dividing us up. Right? Who did it? Who did what? Lewis and Clark Expedition, Louisiana Purchase is where the great motherfucking switch take place. The French bailing out because the gig is up. The English is stronghold in the what we call New England territory, which was northeastern United States, which is the lower part of the country, not the upper. We were southern oriented. South is up, north is down. As soon as you look at the map upside down and you ask yourself, why would they tell me that the map was the other way around? Your brain start reorganizing the information on its own. On its own. Yeah, I seen what they did to Rashad Jamal. Cut his I was watching it. I want to tell y'all this while I forget. I was watching Collide, and everybody was thinking that the optics on his phone was fucking up because his dreads started sparkling like they had glitter in them, right? I got an old video. If you go back, you can look this shit up, and I'm not making this shit up. I said, as soon as these niggas start waking up, they dreads gonna start doing shit. They gonna be able to shoot fireballs of electricity out of their goddamn dreads. The nigga almost came all the way online. I'm watching the video. He thinking it's the optics. And ain't the optics, nigga, that's you. Nigga, that's your guy form waking up, for real waking up. His shit with the sparkling and shit. See, he from a different tribe than me. My tribe, our hair, we got the same texture hair, but mine don't come from those antennas. Mine come in the face. When mine switch, my face switch. Right? It look like all of the lines in my face will smooth out. You won't see none of the lines. All of these lines smooth out. Right? And then it's like a radiance that come over the face. But dude, he was in his guy form today. Yes. So if y'all didn't catch it, he probably got it on his page. Go check it out. Y'all can see what I'm talking about. When I say the motherfuckers, like when they tell you that Medusa's hair was snakes, them was dreadlocks. She was tearing their ass up with them dreadlocks. Because each one of them is an antenna. And she can download, separate, and isolate them to the point where they can lock on the individuals and shoot lightning bolts at their ass. I ain't bullshitting. These niggas was some bad motherfuckers before they went to sleep. That's why I've been fucked up since birth trying to figure out how to tell y'all to put this shit back together. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Look. All skin folks ain't kin folks.
Woo, say
right?
That.
We got that understood. So we don't even have to dwell on that no more. Now, we ain't looking for skin folks. We looking for kin folks now. When I did the video yesterday and I identified these people, I didn't identify them clout chasing. I'm identifying the ones that they want us to shut the fuck up. They want us to shut the fuck up. So let me tell you how they was holding us in bondage. So then I got to show you how we use our bondage chain as the solution to break free. Because niggas don't understand that shit. This is going to be the hardest thing for you to understand for it to make sense. But if you follow the narrative, it's going to make perfect sense. They told us that we came on ships, and then this was the country for these European settlers. First of all, they colonizers. The colonizer have no right to the land superior to the people of the land, period. The immigrant has no land right until he amalgamate his blood with the blood of the people on the land. Very two critical points, right? The blood and the right is required to assume the throne. The throne can only be assumed by putting the great mother back on her throne where you receive the honor. But you can't put the great mother back on her throne unless you know who are those three regional chiefs that's supposed to run the land so that they can put the mother back on the throne by calling their soldiers to arms in a moment's notice. Our people don't remember the culture, right? So they're telling it to you in hip-hop. They was telling it to you in the blues. They told it to you in jazz, but you couldn't get it off the unspoken word. So they put it in spoken word. Gil Scott-Heron told you, right? The last poets. All these motherfuckers been telling you the secrets in plain sight. Winter in America. What does that mean? The Scorpion King is here in America. Because where the Scorpion King is, that's where the winner at. And the winter produces a winner, W-I-N-N-E-R. And you can only win at the conclusion of the race, crossing the finish line. That's what you call a 33-degree York right, 32-degree Scottish right. Put them together, and then you got a 65-degree purple right. And 6 and 5 is 11. And 11 is November. But November means 9. The fuck just happened? We just unlocked the motherfucking key. Right? So, when we put all this shit together, we understand where the deception is coming from. All right? So now, they have to give us the opportunity to discover the deception. Where is it written? Where is it codified? My grandmama got struck by lightning. Right? That tells me to look for the lightning strike everywhere I see one. The guy who was discovered carrying the protocols of the learned elders of Zion got struck by lightning. God talking to me on two sides of the land. He got struck by lightning in Europe. But the document that he held was called the Protocols
of Zion.
Of the Learned Elders of Zion, or the Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion.
Mm-hmm.
It had a 6-point star on it. Now, who is these motherfuckers and where is they at? Today, you know them as your Jewish Defense League and your Anti-Defamation League that uses the fist, the same black fist that we use for black power, because they look like us. But they put people that don't look like us in the leadership in the front row so you can always rely on skin color to keep you confused, dazed, and unable to identify the enemy. I see the black devil just like I see the white one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It ain't about what they look like. It's about how they move, what's in their heart. Mm-hmm. Once you get into their heart space with the truth, then you knock around that motherfucker, because those who ain't got no truth in them gonna rebel against the truth.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't got no truth in them. They gotta rebel against that shit. All right, now. So they come over here, and for some reason, shit don't go sweet, because they had something that you call a civil war. It couldn't have been a civil war. First, you had an American Revolution. It couldn't have been an American Revolution because wasn't no goddamn America. Right? But they say it was the American Revolution, and they rebelled against Britain. And in the process of rebelling against Britain, they established the 13 colonies, which is actually the 13 banks. 13 banks. Look up on your map, put in central banks. There's 13 central banks. They're going to identify 12 because the Federal Reserve Bank is what you call the master bank. That's Jacob himself. The other ones is the other 12 tribes, right? Your Levites, Midianites, and all the other motherfucking tribes of Israel. The Federal Reserve, the central bank, is the parent bank. That's why it's not counted as number 13, but it's the 13th bank. Each bank is owned privately by one of the 13 royal families of Europe that got kicked out. Go back to Billy the Kid. Why was this motherfucker robbing shit? Right? This is what they're not telling you. Billy the Kid, first of all, he wasn't yellow. He wasn't pink. He wasn't tan or sandy brown. He might have been a shade lighter than me. Right? And Frank and Jesse James, all of these bank robberies was to make the family banks close. What the fuck is you talking about the family banks close? Every clan had a family bank. Big Mama was the banker. When they tell you the story, they make it look like the bank was in the town and had bars up and shit to keep it from getting robbed. That's bullshit. Big Mama had that shit in her motherfucking satchel. When you go to Big Mama house, she reach in her little satchel and give you a block of gold. It'll like this. And she had mountains of them motherfuckers because everybody kept their shit at Big Mama house. Big Mama was called the Dark Mother, right? And her color is gold. Black and gold, motherfucker. This the Vice Lord line. In the Red Lodge, which is the mother line, got a favorite daughter, number 88. Number 88 is the city queen. Unless she get one up by Empress on the 89 flip. Right? So, once you get this understood and make the shit fit and put it all together, they've been fucking with me since the beginning. I done seen it glitch up quite a few times. But I'm just trying to hold the course until I can get this out so I can catch us up to today's unraveling of the jargon. Okay, so in the meantime, they take this these bank robberies and they use them, right? They use them for an excuse to centralize the banking system. Because Big Mama will write, my Big Mama will write your Big Mama a note. And they gotta have her mark on it, right? And if it don't got her mark on it, your Big Mama not gonna honor the note. It's IOU. This is the origin of paperbacks, greenbacks, right? Money. These IOUs that they would write to each other would also have a tribal insignia. That's right, Free Larry Hoover. They also have a tribal insignia so that Big Mama know how much money did one tribe owe to the bank. And they would always, use them to switch the money, and they would do an accounting where everybody got to account for the money in their coffers that is on the IOU. In other words, when it's time to pay up, everybody paying up. We didn't do credit. The IOU was not credit. It was the transferring of money without carrying the actual money, which gave rise to the reserve notes. Right? So when they started robbing Big Mama house, because they had killed off all her boys. See, that they couldn't get to Big Mama house. Till they could start robbing all of her boys, start killing off all of her sons and her grandsons and her nephews. Because we ain't do that shit. Big Mama house it's always been a neutral zone. I'm beefed out with a motherfucker, but if I see him at Big Mama house, we both giving each other a pass. We not bringing that shit to Big Mama house because we got to answer to every clan under Big Mama's jurisdiction. Big Mama became known as the grand matriarch of the land when she had the most matriarchs on the land under her direct command, Mother Khadijah, Nation of Islam. The culture hasn't changed. The perception of the culture has changed. Our understanding of our people's position in the culture is diminished. This tribal land, every square inch, every square inch of this shit is tribal land. They told me we got conquered, we might as well give it up. Give it up. Let it go. Fuck them. They won. Go along to get along. Tap dance with these niggas from here on out. Go along to get along. I don't know how to do that shit. I am not good at go along to get along. I'm not really good at getting along. I even fall out with the people that I love when they on some bullshit. But it don't mean that I got hard feelings. It just means I got a low tolerance for bullshit. So I stay in the cave. But this shit is ridiculous. So now all of the ones like me, telling y'all what's up. Let Dane Calloway know. I'm here to make him think. I'm here to make him think on a higher level than what he already thinking on. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna do that because he a bad motherfucker. But I'm gonna try. I'm supposed to make him think. I'm supposed to make him go back and look some shit up. Because he'd agree. I'm just a motherfucking medicine man. So if I can get Dane to know where the records at, he can claim the records by public notice. He ain't got to do no paperwork. We do everything out in the open by public notice, and they do everything behind the doors in secret. That secret squirrel shit is what got us fucked up. Because we thinking that nigga with the apron on and them white gloves going in the lodge is a member. And he running that bitch with all them pale motherfuckers in there who is reaping all of the rewards for keeping his cover. They reaping all the rewards for keeping this motherfucker covered. I guess that's what they mean by the blood of Jesus. I guess. Mm-hmm. Now look, we didn't come on no ships. We never identified each other by classification of skin color, geographical location of origin, or we never identified anybody from political views. We tribesmen. We tribe up. That's what the fuck we do. And the biggest tribes on the land is responsible for the most security on the land. Y'all calling them gangbangers, right? Anybody know them brothers in Detroit, the Detroit 300, that just declared war on the gangs? I need y'all to tell them motherfuckers this. Y'all starting exactly how every gang started until you get infiltrated. Ain't no, you declaring war on tribes, nigga. We getting it off the dirt, off the fat of the land. We always have, always will. Everything they threw at us to oppress us, we used it to come up. They thought the crack was gonna kill our community. We got rich off that shit with them. Right? I'm gonna save it. We got rich off that shit with them. They thought that we was gonna stay drug addicts and shit. We started coming up off that shit. They put us in prison in mass. We turned that motherfucker into universities and monasteries. The ones of us that's about the right shit. Yeah, the Pilgrims the ones came on ship. John Wayne kept telling you. You know? Yes, West Side, Big Tookie. Look, Tookie was in cryostasis. They was not allowed to kill him, but they was allowed to put a soul on ice. He was a brave motherfucker because you not freezing me. We gonna tear this bitch up because you not freezing me. I hate being cold. And they froze this motherfucker for some years. Thawed him out. Right now, all his mental faculties ain't back together because he lost some brain cells with that shit. So he be standing there kind of looking in the daze a little bit. But he is aware. He talking about fearless. Nigga, you not freezing me. Fuck the dumb shit. We gonna shoot it out, fight it out, scrap it out, stab it out, baseball bat it out, but you not freezing me. I'm not doing that. But I guess when he faced with the opportunity of cryostasis or 6 feet, I probably would have took cryostasis. But that's some brave shit. I don't know about doing that one. I couldn't think I could do it. I ain't that brave. I'm not scared of shit, but I'm not brave enough to let a motherfucker freeze me, because I don't trust the motherfucker to throw me back out. So, yeah, just like Demolition Man. So the codes is in the movies. It's in the books of the Black Nationalists, Soul Night, Soul on Fire, Eldridge Cleaver. Eldridge Cleaver gave the gorilla knock off a cleaver as a tomahawk. The tomahawk means straight up the middle, right? So when Eldridge Cleaver could drop Soul on Ice, one of the best black nationalist books ever written, with his raping ass, and then he turned around on top of that and turned into a born-again Christian, and then had Soul on Fire, which was the worst black nationalist book I ever read. But the titles of the books was to tell a story on the West Coast knock. And the West Coast knock was answered in the motherfucking series of events and the music. Because Eazy-E got the left bump off a Lethal Injection from Ice Cube, off of a Suge Knight pulling the covers off of a backdoor deal to execute Eazy-E by a Lethal Injection, but the Lethal Injection that was preserved for Tuki would be a Freeze, a Mr. Freeze off of a Schwarzenegger, a swarthy nigga. And a swarthy nigga is a light-skinned Tony Moore nigga, right? And a light-skinned Tony Moore nigga that was born in Austria under the breeding program of Adolf Hitler, right? And Adolf Hitler said World War III already started, because soon as you niggas find out who the fuck I'm fighting, y'all gonna be fighting the same motherfuckers, and then y'all gonna understand my plight. And my motherfucking outlaw name is Morpheus Hitler, the bitch nigga cleanser. Because I ain't got no problem addressing none of them bitch ass niggas that's in our way. This is why I tell y'all every day is another day to put another celebrity on blast. Don't stop putting them motherfuckers on blast until they start saying what we need them to say. Free Larry Hoover. That's it. Yes, that's why Schwarzenegger played Mr. Freeze in Batman. Now, the funny thing about Batman is Bruce Wayne in a mental institution, and all of the villains is his alter egos and his struggle to overcome the dark side of the self at Arkham Asylum. And Mr. Freeze was one of the characters in Arkham Asylum that was put in there in order to tell Batman that they froze somebody. And when you look at the symbols, it's off the cigar flip that Suge got on the red suit with the cigar in the same pose as Schwarzenegger and Mr. Freeze Blue with the cigar on the mirror flip to tell me that they froze Tuki, right? Off of an Ice Cube, Lethal Injection. Ice Cube mean froze. Lethal Injection, Death Row. Death Row was because Tuki was on Death Row. Tuki got soldiers on both sides of the color spectrum, because when he started the Crips, by default he started the Bloods, because the Bloods was the defense for the Crips, to keep the Crips in check, right? If you don't keep the Crips in check, they run the whole country by now. So the Bloods was created to keep the Crips in check. That's to keep them from overspilling the mount. What mount? The Rockies, motherfucker. And Rocky was with Bullwinkle. And the Rocky Mountains is the divider between the Amaru and the Mississippians, right? That's why Tupac is Tupac Amaru. He the motherfucking chief from Alaska into South America on the west of the Rockies, going down into Texas into Mexico. And the other side, the Mississippians, right? Morpheus Mysticus Megas is the chief from the Louisiana territories all the way going into Greenland and Iceland. The North Gate, the Cold Gate, Hell, the Bottom Gate, the Devil, the Wicked One with the pitchfork, the Red Sun born to the Ice Princess. Come on, man. Y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This is our shit. We got to get back on track with our shit. Malachi said for years, I got to get these stories straight in your head so y'all can see clearly what the fuck going on. Right? So, all of us similarly situated that understand the problem are under the same attack on this bullshit social media. We on social media because we do shit by public notice. I hate social media with a thriving passion.
Me too.
If I could blow this shit up and be done with it once and for all, I would have been did it.
Preach.
But social media becomes the most viable tool for us to keep spreading the word. And as we begin to understand how to straighten the story out, what's the narrative? Get to the book, Protocols of Zion.
I tell people that.
By Neely Fuller, the United Independent Compensatory Code for Breaking the Chains of White Supremacy. Put them side by side. Everything that they doing in the protocols, use Neely Fuller to counter it. Everything they doing in the protocols, use Neely Fuller to counter it.
Mm-hmm.
Stand on your own 2 feet. Under your own vine and fig tree. The name of the book is Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion. That is the handbook for our oppressors to use to oppress us.
Yep. Hold on. I'm gonna pause this real quick. I tell people all the time, I don't know. I know I had to have said it on this channel, but I know I say it on Facebook, on my live streams on Facebook a lot. Protocols of Zion, you want to read it. It's very important. If you have not read Protocols of Zion, or if you don't want to read it and you just want to hear the audio from it, you can hear the audio on YouTube or you can read it. I read it first and then there's the audio and I've listened to it just to refresh myself. But y'all, Protocols of Zion tells you everything. If you were to read it right now, you would see how their agenda has rolled out on this planet. Literally, the Protocols of Zion was written like 1719 or some shit like that. And literally everything from the music industry, everything that they had planned in order to control this earth and world, they're doing it right now. And it's in the Protocols of Zion. And they wrote that shit like hundreds of years ago. So you definitely want to go check that out. I just had to say that. He was on point. He's always on point, but I'm just saying.
Dr. Neely Fuller wrote Our Remedy, which is the motherline.
Hold on, y'all.
Got a favorite daughter, number 88. Number 88 is the city queen. Unless she get one up by Empress on the 89 flip. Right? So, once you get this understood and make the shit fit, and put it all together, they've been fucking with me since the beginning. I done seen it glitch up quite a few times, but I'm just trying to hold the course until I can get this out, so I can catch us up to today's unraveling of the jargon. Okay, so in the meantime, they take this these bank robberies and they use them, right? They use them for an excuse to centralize the banking system. Because Big Mama will write, my Big Mama.
Oh, hold on, y'all. It rewinded. Somebody told me it rewinded. Hold on, let me see.
Go try to talk to Angel Bay. If you got any bitch in you, keep her from overspilling the mouth. What mouth? The Rockies, motherfucker. And Rocky was with Bullwinkle.
Okay.
And the Rocky central banks, they're going to identify.
I don't know why I keep going back. Hold on, y'all.
Because it's in check. Right? If you don't keep the Crips in check, they run the whole country by now. So the Bloods was created to keep the Crips in check. That's to keep her from overspilling the mouth. What mouth? The Rockies, motherfucker. And Rocky was with Bullwinkle. And the Rocky Mountains is the divider between the Amaru and the Mississippians. Right? That's why Tupac is Tupac Amaru. He the motherfucking chief from Alaska into South America on the west of the Rockies, going down into Texas into Mexico. And the other side, the Mississippians, right? Morpheus Mysticus Megas is the chief from the Louisiana territories all the way going into Greenland and Iceland. The North Gate, the Cold Gate, Hell, the Bottom Gate, the Devil, the Wicked One with the pitchfork. The red sun born to the ice princess. Come on, man. Y'all don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. This our shit. We got to get back on track with our shit. Malachi said for years, I got to get these stories straight in your head so y'all can see clearly what the fuck going on. Right? So, all of us similarly situated that understand the problem are under the same attack on this bullshit social media. We on social media because we do shit by public notice. I hate social media with a thriving passion. If I could blow this shit up and be done with it once and for all, I would have been did it. But social media becomes the most viable tool for us to keep spreading the word. And as we begin to understand how to straighten the story out, what's the narrative? Get to the book, Protocols of Zion. Get the book by Neely Fuller, The United Independent Compensatory Code for Breaking the Chains of White Supremacy. Put them side by side. Everything that they...
Hold on, y'all. Oh.
Everything they doing in the protocols, use Neely Fuller to counter it. Stand on your own 2 feet. Under your own vine and fig tree. The name of the book is Protocols of the Wise Men of Zion. That is the handbook for our oppressors to use to oppress us. Dr. Neely Fuller wrote our remedy to combat the oppressor's oppression. And it's called United Independent Compensatory Code / System for Breaking the Chains of White Supremacy / I think it's slavery. So, and he got another one called the Codified Word Guide, where you get to understand how they use the words to still push their agenda in our face. Right? It's another book called Unlocking the Word Code Racism or something like that. But all these books is like, and everybody look like me ought to have a book by Kwanzaa Kunjufu called State of Emergency. If you look like me, this is where we're working out of. The first chapter in that book is what we're working out of right now. This is what we trying to fix. We already know where all the information at. If you want to know the psychology of the ones oppressing us, Bobby E. Wright, Psychopathic Racial Personality. If you want to know what made them that way, Iceman Inheritance. Right? All of it is accessible now. They tore our shit down. Destruction of Black Civilization, Chancellor Williams. They stole it. You must return it. Yep. The Return of the Ancient Ones by Empress Verdiasi Tiara Gostinel Bey, Empress of the Moorish Nation. Wrote the book, put the motherfuckers out there on blast. They acknowledged their motherfucking treaties and how they lied, and then they had to give her the shit back. Dr. Malachi Z. York, let's set the record straight. You can't go wrong with no new YBN reading material written by York. Also, what's the other brother name? The Journey Home Group, the Marcus Project, in the Art and Science of Thinking. Get that shit. All of your religion, your ancient spiritual practices, we wasn't religious. We never been religious. And they use religion to capture us by using our spiritual perception as a bondage. But our spiritual practices from the Kemetic schools is in Florida, Muwata Ashby, Senior Yoga Institute. I'm telling y'all where everything is. So y'all don't have to believe me. You can go check this shit out. You got Sister in New Orleans. You got the largest repository of indigenous Vadum culture is a so-called Jewish lady named Catherine Urenwood, and she got Lucky Mojo Curio out of California. She got tons of information on the website. If Muada actually wasn't no point, I wouldn't be telling them. For those in the Philadelphia area, look for Reverend Ray Haggins. If you're in D.C., well, oh man, I can't remember that preacher name. But they all telling you the story. The Olmec magic is concealed in the practices of Mexican culture. So look, I don't want to get too much into this, but let's say one of us look like me, go to dinner, and we watching the Mexicans. We go over a Mexican cookout. They're gonna be doing all our shit, but it's gonna be covered up by the shit they gave us. I have to tell it to y'all like that because y'all gotta know how to see it without seeing it. They're gonna be doing all our shit at the Puerto Rican cookout under the pretenses of a Catholic system. But they're gonna be doing our shit, the original shit from the Boricuas and the Arawaks down there. They got the shit. We just not perceptive enough to see where it's at. The conjure rites from New Orleans is concealed in what we call the American Methodist Episcopal Church, the AME Church, because we couldn't practice openly our tradition, so we had to conceal it in their shit, right? When the motherfucking elders from the AME come fucking with you and they talking that Jesus shit, just tell them niggas to bump straight 3 times. Just say it, space it out, bump straight, nigga. You ain't keep talking. He still ain't talking right. Bump straight, nigga. Bump fucking straight. Now he gonna start telling all of the truth. He ain't gonna start telling you all the truth because you can put him on blast. TD Jakes, he know what's up. He know what's up. That nigga's trying to bump straight so hard. He been telling so much truth in the last year and a half. I wonder what happened. I wonder what happened, Mr. Jakes. Oh, I forgot. We blew your shit up, nigga. We blew your shit up. Told you we was gonna do it. See, this is how you get their attention. When these niggas think when they think they bigger than God because they got a big ass congregation and they take them fat collections up, don't touch them. Show them they can be touched by the divine. So they tried to end my video prematurely. And they still, look, it's finna log me out, y'all. I'm not trying to log out, but this motherfucker keep malfunctioning, so. But I'm gonna tell y'all, the Cubans got their shit back. Right now, we waiting on this Sweetwater ceremony oddities in Florida for the sister who gave her life to win the Haitian Revolution. As soon as she get honored, all doors start closing on the enemy at every angle. This is the hold up. In truth, is we got one major conference still open, but it's in the sisters is on the job. They got a date set, and they gonna close that Haitian conjure out. It's gonna bring the whole white man world crumbling down, and y'all gonna see these motherfuckers for what they worth. They're not gonna be able to do anything about it. Our job right now is for me to talk to Rashad Jamal and show the people that it's not us. It's them pushing the narrative behind the scenes. We just see through it now. The first one has to be done in Florida because that's where the priestess came, and Florida is the finish line. because that's the trunk of the elephant, and the trunk of the elephant sounds the alarm in all of our conscience. Flip your map upside down and look at it again. Right? So she came to Florida. Phase 1 is to put Haiti itself on notice, because if the homeland don't honor her and return her home with high honors, it will sink into the ocean. But the Haitians is on the job, so I'm not even worried about it no more. If y'all have seen me a couple of months ago, I was panicking about Haiti, because I didn't think that we would find any assistance for the Haitians. And then the sisters stepped up and they said, we need more information. Explain this shit to us. That's right, free King Hoover, my motherfucking chief. So now that they putting it all together and they getting some heavyweight sisters with them, I'm like motherfucking James Cleveland. I ain't no ways tired and I ain't no ways worried. Right? So, I think I done told y'all enough. So let me fast forward a little bit. So how did we figure this shit out? The first motherfucker to drag their shit into the public domain was named Prince Hall and his cohort, Absalom Jones, formed what we know of today as the Prince Hall Masons, the Blue Lodge. Now, one thing you have to understand about the Prince Hall Masons is they was never chartered by the Blue Lodge York Rite. They went to Europe and they got a charter to practice Blue Lodge Masonry with a Scottish Rite charter. That's called a cross knock, right? So the only way that we can figure this shit out, we need somebody to go into the Red Lodge now and get the secrets out of the Red Lodge. Well, everybody was scared of them motherfuckers, because them is the meanest of the mean. You don't believe me? Go try to talk to Angel Bay. If you got any bitch in you, you gonna fold up. He ain't gonna say nothing. He's just gonna be looking at you. But if you got any bitch in you, you gonna fold up when you face that man. That's what I'm talking about. Now, they got thousands of these niggas. So, Noble Drew Ali joined the Moorish Zionist. Noble Drew Ali joined the Moorish Zionist Temple in New Jersey. Hey, they cutting me out. I don't know why they keep cutting me out, but Noble Drew Ali drugged the secrets out into the public domain. He told you that. I drug all the secret societies' secrets out into the public domain. So the Boule, Steve Coke can give you a good description of them, but he don't never tell you who they talking to. They talking to the chiefs owning the land. Nipsey was extracted. He wasn't murdered. But it was a hit on Nipsey because he was going one-on-one with Mickey Mouse himself, the king of the rats, the king of the Moors. Right? And they put a hit on Nipsey because they couldn't fuck with his intellect. Since they put a hit on him, the Nation of Islam extracted him. It's just that simple. I'm not going into that story no more because I've told it too many times. But there was a hit on Nipsey. That's why LeBron is in LA. LeBron not in LA because he wanted to be in LA. They couldn't control him at home in Cleveland. That's why they moved him out there to LA. So he can be closer to their assassins and they can fake crash his motherfucking helicopter to get rid of his ass if he don't bump straight. According to they bump straight. They bump straight crooked than a motherfucker. You know, they want you to do some nefarious shit like fucking little boys and fucking little girls and shit in order to make sure they got some dirt on you. You know. So once Noble Drew Ali put the secrets in the public domain, once you had Dubois had to inject it through the Boule system. It's a system. The Boule is not It's a system. It's a system of information exchange, the Boule. But the Boule system was put into the educational system by what they call the Brown Paper Bag Club of Negroes. The Brown Paper Bag Club was the light-skinned Negroes who would get preferential treatment, but they still wasn't feeling the master, right? So they have to put the secrets where we can capture the secrets. Once we catch the secrets, then only the chiefs gonna know how to put this shit back together, right? So they use divide and conquer. Yep, Jack and Jill went up the hill to fetch a pail of water, and Jack threw her ass in that well and tied her up with 13 knots. That's the story of Muhammad, the praiseworthy one, the 13 knots. Yep, sellouts. Look, the sellouts is not necessarily the one who appears to be the sellout. Uncle Tom, if you read the book, they thought he was the biggest sellout there was, so most motherfuckers stopped reading the book. But if you finish the book, you discover Uncle Tom was the one who set that shit off. He was the most prepared to overthrow the system of slavery they was under, because he sat there close enough to the enemy to get the enemy to leak a few secrets here and there so he can put a puzzle together. Uncle Tom was the spook who sat by the door for the 1800s, right? And the Jedi is the Yoda. And Yoda is Judah. And Judah ain't a Jew. Judah ain't never been called Jew, right? And Judah, in short, is Jude. And Hey Jude was a song by the Beatles. And Hey Jude was on the same album as Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. And the British invasion brought us a LSD, Lord Stone Disciple, unification knot off a Tavistock mind control program, and a secret to break it. And the secret to break the mind control is to smoke the ganja. This is why they be telling you in plain sight that they clearing out of Afghanistan. They talking about where them Afghans smoke the gans, or I should say where them chiefs be chiefing. You can't mind control a marijuana smoker. It won't work. It's something about smoking marijuana that's totally incompatible with mind control. I had to look at, I don't know which young Pappy you talk about, because I know a few of them, like Pappy Mason, Papa Doc, you know, they called him Pappy, so I'm not sure who you're talking about. I had to look into the various ones or have a conversation to know which one you're talking about. Right. Okay, so now once all the secrets was put into the public domain, they started a campaign, the government started a campaign to villainize what we call gangs, using something called television. And they done it with a series of productions called The Bowery Boys, West Side Story, shit like that. I haven't looked into that artist from Chicago, if that's what you're talking about, Mayo. Okay, so Larry is from Mississippi, right? And Angel Bay is from Mississippi. Both of them was born in Mississippi. I think Tookie came to California. His parents came before he was born. But the Mississippians is the ones that, when the land is in total distress and disarray, the Mississippians are responsible for putting this shit back together, right? So you got three kings on the land, but the government, the artificial government that's masquerading as we the people, are actually a foreign corporate body, politic, meaning it's a political business. They books say all law is commercial. All law books are copyrighted in London, not in DC. That means that London owns the law. So who owns London? The Crown. If the Crown owns London and the books are all copyrighted in London and all law is commercial, it's a business institute in place of your actual and factual government. You have the de facto masquerading as the de jure in law. De facto mean we just acting the part. De jure mean we not actors. We the real motherfucking shit. Right? So as long as we believe that de facto is the fact, then we can't separate from the bullshit. All of these motherfuckers, Fauci, Biden, all them motherfuckers is puppets and masquerading. And as long as y'all follow their narrative, they control the story. As soon as you break away from their narrative, we control the story. Travis Scott didn't do the sacrifice. He was the sacrifice. He didn't do the sacrifice. He was the sacrifice. I'm going to say it again. Travis Scott didn't perform the sacrifice. He was the sacrifice. Even though he wasn't the one that got killed. He was the cover story, the fall guy. So who was behind it? Who bankrolled the concert? His girlfriend bankrolled the concert. Whose birthday was it on the same day this shit happened? His girlfriend mama birthday. What does his girlfriend mama get for her birthday? A blood right. She's 66. Right? It's a blood right. It's a blood ritual. 8 people to see the queen. And 66 flips to 99 on the turnaround in order for a 6'9" left, 6'9" right to balance these.
Hold on, y'all. I don't know what happened. They be messing with his live so much. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, y'all. So I was trying to see what happened with the live because it literally just cut out in the middle of it. And I was watching it with y'all because I had not had a chance to watch it. He just tagged me in it on Facebook.
Consistent with his consistent foolishness on purpose. He wanted us, thug spirit, outlaws, motherfuckers that don't fit inside the judicial system of the United States, Blue Lodge, York, right. Where all the information at? If you want to know the psychology.
Okay, so y'all look, this is what I'm gonna do. So I watched it with y'all. I was just watching it with you. Peace, 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 peace and love. I know y'all can't see me for real because it's getting dark here and I'm like in a dark space. But I just wanted to be able to watch that with y'all. Rod, had messaged me, asked me, can I cover it on my channel? And I told him for sure that's my brother. He's part of the royal family like I am. So this is what it is. But if you guys want to check this out, you can go on Instagram underneath
Bobby
Morpheus. Let me type this in real quick so you guys can, if you didn't see this or couldn't see it. More. I'm putting it in here underneath the notes, y'all. Stickers. Okay, so that's his name on IG where he did the live. And I just put it down below. So you guys can check that out whenever you get a chance. But I think we went through most of it. It was like an hour, maybe like 2 hours long or something like that. But we were like an hour and a half in it or whatever. So make sure you go check that out. I just put it underneath, typed it underneath or whatever. I just really wanted to watch that with you guys, share that with you so that people just really understand where we are at this point. A lot of our people don't know that we are indigenous to this land, America. So they're really a little bit lost. But if you watch Dane Calloway and beings like that, then you will basically get a good understanding. Dane Calloway has been covering this for years on his channel. You can go on Dane Calloway's channel and he'll break down how you are indigenous to America and things like that. And so he was basically breaking all that down so you guys know how important it is for to free Larry Hoover and Malik Bey and things like that, so that we could get back to order on this planet and in this country. So like I was saying on Facebook, we got to remove ourselves from this materialistic world. We got to tear this shit down, finish tearing this shit down, this system down, because they are not even in there. They're not even working. Like literally, these are all puppets. These are all clones. These are all like people that are just there to set a stage and put on an act. The system has already went down. Okay. So we have to continuously take things back into our own hands. And that's basically where he's going with that and what he's trying to say. But he's giving you guys the backstory on it. He's breaking it down. He's letting you know like what needs to be done and what needs to happen. And a lot of people are a little oblivious to it because like not a lot of people talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Like there's not a lot of people that talk about us being indigenous to America and the importance of it and the importance of us staking our claim on this land and on this land alone, because a lot of our ancestors are from here. They never came from Africa, nothing like that. Your ancestors didn't come here from Africa 9 times out of 10 if you're indigenous on this in America. So you need to be able to avenge your ancestors as well. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is knowing who you are. So that's the biggest thing. I just wanted to be able to cover that because I told him I was going to cover that and that I was going to show it on my channel. You said there's nothing up there but pictures. Oh, I think you got to scroll through the pictures. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see how I found this. Let me find this real quick, y'all. So that's Rod. If you're on Rod Hayes' page, wait, hold up. It came up as Morpheus. So he has a few of them on the Morpheus Mysticus. So if you go on the Morpheus Mysticus, you should be able to, you might see a picture at first, but if you scroll over or click the picture, it'll go into lives like this. So you'll see a picture at first. So like you might see a picture like this. And then if you click, oops, sorry, my bad. He has it tagged at the top too, at Morpheus on his page, Rod Hayes, if you see that at Morpheus Mysticus. So if you click that at the Morpheus, you'll see like pictures right there. But if you click the actual picture, then that's when you'll see the live. So that's how you can get to his live. But you all make sure that you follow him. He's definitely one of my teachers. And like I say, I learned from the divine masculine. A lot of my teachers are divine masculine. So when people are calling me and saying that I am a feminist and all that, it's ludicrous to me. And I just laugh it off because I'm like, are you serious right now? Like the divine masculine is who I'm in connection with. And that teaches me and keeps me on point on what I need to do as a divine feminine in order to bring us back to a balance on this planet. So you can go and kick rocks with that. He is mentioning that he is linking up with Rashad Jamal. A lot of y'all know that, but like I always tell you all, like at the end of the day, whatever needs to be done in order for us to get back to a balance and change this dynamic on the planet for our children is what I'm with. As I've spoken with Rod about it and everything like that. And he said, whoever's with it, they're gonna stand in agreement and be in agreement with us. Whoever does not stand with us in agreement to get this shit back to the balance that we have to and take our shit back, that's going to show who's really real about it, and that's who's really for the fake. You know what I'm saying? And so at the end of the day, the fake gonna always show themselves. So it just is what it is. And I'm just going to sit back, and I'm not going to put anything negative out there, and hopefully he does what's right. That's all I got to say about that. But moving forward, that's basically what I wanted to share with you all today. There is some things that I want to talk about personally, but I'm like, literally the sun is going down and like this light is out in this room, and I really don't want to move all this stuff for real. So share this live stream. And I will hop back on in a few hours just to like connect with you all personally and like just talk about some things that I wanted to talk about personally. So peace, light, and love, and see you guys in a few hours. Peace. Thank you for joining my live. Please subscribe if you are not subscribed, and like this video. Peace.